Are you contemplating leaving your job? If yes, here are 5 things you should consider first to make sure you won't regret your decision later. Let's go. Hey, this is Matt from Elevation Career, here to help you stand out in this competitive job market with insightful and practical job search tips. When you're thinking about leaving your job, it's crucial to ensure that you're making an informed and thoughtful decision, because it's often tempting to believe that the grass is greener on the other side, especially when the desire to leave is strong. And that's the reason why I created this video. Today I'm going to share with you the 5 things you should think about or start doing first if you want to make sure you're taking the right step toward your true career aspirations. Number 1, define and clarify your job search goals. The number 1 step you should take before making any career-related decisions is to define your career goals. Because without clearly defined goals, it would be impossible to make coherent choices that'll guide you in the right direction. In fact, you wouldn't even know what the right direction is. This is why so many people go through a large part of their career only to regret their actions or feel lost. Yes, our goals or aspirations may change along the way, and that's perfectly fine, but it's always better to know where you're going at the moment so that you can direct your energy and focus accordingly. If you have not defined your goals, and therefore do not know how you want to progress, making any strategic decision about leaving would be extremely difficult. At best, you will likely look for whatever is more convenient at the time, or only go after short-term benefits which may be detrimental to your long-term advancement. It may be that the current situation is unpleasant, but it could also be the most helpful experience you may gain for your future development. Or vice versa, you may feel like everything is smooth sailing and hunky-dory, but the current job may be taking you further away from what you want to achieve, in which case you may need to change your job even if you do not have any push factors immediately. This is why goal setting is the most fundamental step before making any career decisions, including leaving a company. Number 2, get clear on why you want to leave. Once you know what your career goals are, the next step is to carefully examine the actual reasons why you want to leave. Often it's a combination or mixture of several factors, situations, and emotions that drive us to want to leave our job. If we are not clear about our biggest motivators, we may end up making a rash decision or find ourselves in another dissatisfying opportunity again. Not only that, but by identifying the key reasons for leaving, you can be that much more intentional about the positions, companies, and industries you should target as your next move. Ask yourself the following questions. What aspects of your current job are dissatisfying or unfulfilling? Which of the above factors is of the highest priority or urgency to you? How would you rank them in order of significance? How realistically will these problems disappear by moving to another company or industry? How can I ensure that I will not end up with the similar situations in the new company? Number 3, how much learning potential is still left in this position? Even if many current factors are unfavorable, such as compensation, work hours, locations, and etc., if you know that you're still growing and you're moving in line with your career goals, it may be premature to leave yet. I'm sure you've heard stories or even personally experienced instances where some of the most demanding and challenging experiences at work being the most helpful foundation for future success. A friend of mine who is extremely successful in the finance industry once told me the story of his first job. Even though it was a decent opportunity, he hated going to work because he felt that his boss was micromanaging him and was nitpicking everything he did. And he was this close to leaving his job. But in the end, he decided to stay largely because he realized at the end of the day that he was learning and growing because of the constant feedback or nagging from his boss. And afterward, he realized those years that he did not enjoy actually helped him build the foundation he needed to advance quickly in the later years. I'm also aware of countless others who regretted their decision to leave a place where they were still growing due to short-term factors such as compensation, title, or other personal preferences and ended up losing several years of their career. Of course, I am not saying that you should never leave a company if you're still learning or growing. Every situation is different, and we simply cannot make a general blanket statement like that. Even if there is great learning potential, if the work environment is too toxic or beyond repair, leaving could be the best decision for yourself. What I am saying is asking yourself this question will help you make a more rational decision, especially regarding your long-term destination. Number 4, have you done what you can to resolve or improve the situation? In my opinion, this is one of the hardest questions to ask ourselves, but also one that could offer the most valuable lesson. Throughout our careers, inevitably, we will encounter problems and difficulties. And often the easiest thing to do is to avoid the situation altogether by leaving the job. However, if this becomes our default mode of dealing with challenges, we will have to move constantly because these things are bound to happen again. But most tragically, we will never be able to mature. When there are conflicts with colleagues, bosses, or when our work is not recognized, or other factors, if we simply choose to leave, we will never learn how to overcome similar problems in the future, which again are likely going to repeat at some point. Instead, it is by learning to take uncomfortable steps, such as, for example, conflict resolution, nonviolent communication, building or mending relationships, drawing healthy boundaries, and learning to market yourself, that we gain the skills that will help us advance professionally in the long run. Even if the situation doesn't improve despite your best effort, and you do end up leaving, you will not be doing so as a way of escape or running away from the problem, and you will have matured through the process as a result. Before we get into our last point, if you're enjoying this video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Please be sure to subscribe too, so you won't miss the latest tips and strategies. You know the drill. Thank you so much. Number 5, start acquiring skills and knowledge. Once you have concluded that it is time to leave, and you're sure about what you're looking for, it's time to do an inventory of whether you have enough skills or experience to obtain the kind of opportunities you're targeting. And if you feel that you lack certain expertise, you can start working on it through additional certification, training, or education to enhance your knowledge and prepare yourself. But that's only half the story. If you want to truly stand out as the ideal candidate in this competitive job market, and actually get your dream job at your top choice employer, you also need to be strategic in your job search too. This includes learning how to write a consistently attention-capturing resume, tailoring your CV to target each position, identifying the biggest needs of the employer, positioning yourself as a solution to those needs, and convincing the employer that you are the ideal person for the job. Because the truth is, how the employer will feel about you at the end of the day will be determined by your ability to sell and convince them. Therefore, learning the skills to present yourself in the most relevant manner during the interview and prepare for key questions in advance is one of the best investments you can make for your career advancement. On the flip side, failing to do so will be one of the most direct disadvantages you can give to yourself. If you're interested in free, complimentary resources to help you master your job search, check out my free masterclass, Upgrade Your Job Search, that offers crucial practical tips on resume, interview, and salary negotiation. It'll provide you with necessary action steps to elevate your search to a new level and lead to more, better offers. You can find the link down below too. Once you have made up your mind that it's time to leave, the next step is to resign professionally. How you handle yourself during resignation will directly impact your long-term relationships, which may be extremely useful in the future. If you want to find out how to do that, check out the video on this screen. Thanks so much for watching, and I wish you all the very